Hey guys, it's been a minute since I've checked in. I got a funny story I want to tell you. I went mudding. I know that sounds weird, but anyways, it's a short story, so just hear me out. So, you know how they say don't listen to your GPS and, do a proper trip plan and stuff like that? Well, sometimes we get in a hurry and we think we're gonna make it to where we're going just by going off GPS. Okay, so this morning we had an update last night, so on our tablets that we use, and this morning it was haywire and I didn't know. And it's never steered me wrong, maybe once, and I always look on Google Maps on my phone and see if the route's, the same, yada yada yada. And then I also use Tracker Path and then Hammer. So anyways, I get to my shipper and pick up my load, and I'm about to leave there, and there's a Love's down the road, and instead of me just taking a right and going on down to Love's where I know where it's at, I didn't know where it was at exactly because I'm not from there. I just knew there was one around in that direction. So I put Love's in the tablet there, and it told me to take a left, and I was thinking, man, that's weird. I should be going right. So I pulled up Google Maps, and I seen the route that the tablet was wanting to take me. I was like, okay, I don't know why it wants me to go that way. Maybe there's a restriction over here on this road. Maybe it's blocked off. I don't know. I mean, I've been doing this for like 4.5, almost 5 months total. That's all the experience I got within the last year. I've never really had an issue like this. Anyways, I took a left and get down the road a little bit, and it tells me to take a right. So I'm like, okay. I start to take a right, and I'm like, this road does not look good. This road doesn't look good at all. Like, it's sketchy. So down the road there, I see like an entrance for trucks to go in, whatever, like people work down there. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I go down there a little bit. This road's like really narrow, kind of. It's like made for a big truck and a really small car. That's how big it is. It's not very big. Narrow road, back road. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, let me get on my maps. Let me get on my Google Maps real quick. So I get on my Google Maps, and I see this big building over here, and I see an entrance. I'm like, okay, well, trucks got to go in there, like that's an entrance to this company, pretty big company, this car company. So I keep driving, and I get around the corner, and I'm like, okay, this is getting more sketchy and sketchy. It's getting a little bit narrower. The trees are like there, like they haven't been taken care of. The road's starting to go to crap. There's potholes. Starting to get a little muddy in places. So anyways, I go down a little bit, and I'm like, man, I look at my GPS on my phone opposed to Jill. That's what we call the tablet. And I'm like, okay, well, it's just right down there. Okay, the end is right down there that connects to the road I need to go to. So I go down a little further, and I see a mud hole. Pretty much in the middle of the road. Like, there's a little bit of space that's not muddy, and then the rest is muddy. So I'm like, okay, so I go down there. I'm like, screw it, I can get through there. It's just right there, and I'll be out. So I go around this little mud puddle, going down the road there, and I get all the way down to the end, and it's blocked off. Okay, mind you, this road is very small. So I'm like, man, I can't do nothing. I gotta back up. Crap. So I'm backing up and backing up and backing up, and I get to the mud hole. I'm like, okay, hopefully I don't get stuck. It's kind of harder to back up than the way you go, from going forward. I can't really, it's kind of hard to get, the same angles and everything I did coming in. So I'm backing up. I'm like, John, whatever you do, do not stop in that mud hole. I'm backing up. you know. And guess who stops in the mud hole? Don't know why. Maybe I just didn't want it to bang around or tear something up. But as soon as I got to that hole and I felt it go down, guess who taps the brakes like a dumbass? Me. Woo! Super truck. Not really. I'm a newbie. Keep that in mind. Anyways, I'm like, oh crap. Gotta pull forward. And tire spinning. Go back up, tire spinning. Forward, tire spinning. Tire spinning. So I'm like, crap, what do I do? I'm stuck. The landing gear's pretty much almost touching back there at this point. And I got out and looked. I'm screwed. So I call Snyder Road Rescue. I'm waiting an hour and a half. I call the people they use to get stuff like that set up for a winch out, and call the dude, and he's like, hey, I'm actually working on your stuff right now. I'm trying to get someone out to you. The closest I can get anybody out to you is about 3 hours. I'm like, all right, cool, yeah, just let me know whenever, you know. So at this point, I'm like, man, I want to quit. I suck at this. Mind you, this is the first mistake I've ever made. I'm like, man, this sucks. I want to quit so bad, and da-da-da. In my mind, I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. This is crazy. So, once I heard that, I sat out there for about 10 more minutes, and I was outside my truck, and I got a text saying, en route, 88 minutes is the ETA for the winch out. Alright, cool. So at this point, I'm like, God, I don't need to quit, you know. I need to get that negative stuff out of my head. It's not that bad, you know. In my mind, I'm like, okay, God put me here for a reason, whether it's to learn something, learn patience, something, you know. That's all I can think, is God is doing this for a reason. And my God, dear Heavenly Father, I pray today, give me, you know, for waking me up today, give me a good start to the day. And I don't know what the reasoning I'm here for right now at this time is, but I know you can get me out of it. You never steered me wrong before. And you know, I prayed for my friends and family, and to, you know, for everybody to have good health and all, you know, stuff like that. But anyways, I get back in my truck, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, man, I can't believe I did this. I got myself in this situation. I gotta get myself out, you know. Anyways, I gotta get comfortable, turn on my APU, start a movie, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, what can I do to get out? Lo and behold, right, I look down. And, you know, earlier I seen a little anti-spin button. I'm like, nah, that really won't work. That anti-spin, sorry, there's someone pulling in my side. I'll make sure they don't hit me. But there's an anti-spin button. I'm like, that's not going to do anything. So I look over here, and I look down. There's a little button down there that says lock. And it says, you know, inner axle lock. So I'm like, hell yeah, I am in business. I'm getting the hell out of here. You know, start my truck up, pop my brakes, pop that button, ease on down there like a pro. Okay, so ease on out. And then now I gotta back up. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta back up now. Hopefully I don't get stuck again. So I back up, and you know, I get through it, you know, whatever. I break some tree branches on the way out, because I got to back up. There's a spot down there I can turn around, but I got to get to it. It's about 200 feet. So I back up about 200 feet. I get pulled in. It's a pretty good little spot where I can turn around in there. And I get in there, and as soon as I get in there, I notice. I look to the right, and I look to the left. I'm like, oh, God, please help me. Muddy. I'm like, man, this sucks. The only place that really wasn't muddy, that was like rock filled, was like the entrance part. Like, you pull straight up to this little gate. It's probably, you know, a good 100 yards in there. But I didn't have enough room to turn around. So guess what I had to do? I had to do a blind side, pretty much 90, out the gate. Nailed it. So I guess, I mean, you can pretty much call me a real trucker now. I mean, you know, I got myself into like a bad predicament, got myself out, you know, did a hard 90, put on my super cape. Yeah, if there was ever a day, no, on a serious note, there was ever a day to be like, okay, well, hey, look, you're a real truck driver and you're doing a good job at it, and for me to restore my manhood, today would that be that day. Because after I got out of there, dude, my testosterone was up to the roof. I'm like, yeah, man, you know, I'm a trucker now, you know. I'm a man. Figured it out. But yeah, I figured I'd tell that story. But what we gotta remember is, you know, we're all human. We all make mistakes. Doesn't matter how long you've been in the trucking industry. The main thing is, you know, I might have had about a bad hour, right? But I didn't have a bad day. You know, that little spurt there. When stuff happens like this, to me, I look at it as, okay, maybe God didn't want me on the road at that time. You know. Because something might happen down the road. Maybe He's preventing that from happening, you know. I don't know. That's just the way that I think. I don't know if it just makes me feel better or what, but I'm a firm believer in Jesus Christ, you know. He has my heart, and that's the way I think about it. So anyways, y'all have heard my story on that end. I called, you know, Snyder called me later and was like, hey, what happened? I'm like, well, I got myself out. Truck's safe, nothing's messed up on it. Just got stuck in a little mud. And I got out and turned around. The tablet, man, the navigation on there just went haywire after that update last night. And it got a lot of people turned around. I wasn't going to tell this story because it's really embarrassing. To me it is. To me it's embarrassing. Good thing is, check this out. I went down the wrong road. I got stuck, right? Lost some time. But I made it to my receiver on time. That's still good business. Things at Snyder are going good still. My DBL, she is a great lady. She takes care of business. They keep me rolling. I wouldn't ask for a different DBL. They get me home whenever they say they're going to get me home. Everything you hear about Snyder, everybody has a different opinion. Everybody has a different view. I don't know. It's all in one's reality, really, on how they view it. Just like to sit here and tell you how great it is, how good my DBL is, how my pay is decent, how I like it, enjoy it, and how I get home on time whenever they tell me they're going to get me there, or to doctor appointments, whatever. Generally, they're asking me when I want to go home. You know, I'm not putting in the tablet saying, oh, I want to go home this date, this date, this date, this date. Generally, about once every week, a week and a half. They're like, okay, John, when do you want to go home? When do you want to go home? They want you to run, of course. They want you to stay out. But, you know, pretty much every week, week and a half, they're asking me because I'm over the road, and, you know, their thing is they said they can get me home every 2 weeks. Do I go home every 2 weeks? No. But anyways, that's just a quick little story I wanted to tell you guys because, I mean, I thought it was pretty funny, but it's really embarrassing. Because I should have known better, and I should have went with my gut feeling instead of that tablet feeling. So anyways, man, if you have any questions, hit me up. Like and subscribe to my channel, please. I'm going to be coming out with some more stuff. I included a few pictures at the end of this video. So yeah, Just don't do what I did. Later.